Hello everyone, welcome to Amazon Solution Architect Associate demo session from netbeds.cloud. Here is the agenda we will be covering. We will first understand cloud computing and what are the career prospects. We will understand the history of Amazon and Amazon Web Services. We'll understand significance of learning AWS as a skill and what are the certification paths. Then we will understand the topics that were involved in AWS Solution Architect Associate certification. Then we'll be picking a popular service from AWS, that is EC2, Elastic Compute Cloud. We'll go through the overview and we'll compare what are the benefits compared to on-premise compute. Then I will show a quick demo. So first let's understand what is cloud computing. So if you see this diagram, we see a cloud-like icon here, and it consists of servers, virtual desktops, software, application, storage data. So basically, it is a resource pool which appears to be remote because we can access it through internet. That is why it has the same symbol as internet, the cloud symbol. And it can be accessed through any device like mobile, laptop, or desktop through internet. So in simple words, what are the characteristics of cloud? It is accessible through internet from anywhere on the globe. It is always available. It is highly virtualized and automated. It has a scalable pool of resources, and it is pay-per-use model. So it is a consumption-based model. Whatever services you are consuming, you will only pay for that. Now let us understand what are the career prospects if you learn cloud computing. So as per Allied Market Research, the global cloud computing market will reach $1 to $40 billion by 2027, with a growth rate of 17.9% between 2021 to 2027. So this is a tremendous growth and opportunity. Organizations are continuously seeking experts who can actually design, implement, manage cloud infra. Various roles like cloud engineer, cloud architect, and DevOps engineers are very much in demand with lucrative salaries. Cloud computing is not a niche skill, but it is a foundation now. It is a must. Even if you are doing other roles like software development, data analytics, cybersecurity, and much more. As per Gartner report, 80% of enterprises will embrace cloud first principle by 2025. This means it will be the very important principle or strategy for enterprises, and cloud experts will be leading the transformative initiative within majority of organizations. It is at the heart of digital transformation. So if you talk about AI, you talk about scalable IT solutions. Cloud platforms like AWS, Microsoft Azure, and Google will be critical for all the businesses to thrive. Now let us understand the history of Amazon, who was the pioneer of establishing the cloud computing, and nowadays it is a synonym of cloud. Originally, Amazon is an e-commerce platform. It was established in 1995 by Jeff Bezos. It started with online bookstore, then slowly expanded to sell DVDs and CDs, and now it sells hundreds of products across 190 countries. It has become a huge enterprise with trillions of dollars of market capitalization. Amazon Web Services, or AWS in short, is a separate business unit of Amazon. It was established in early 2000s. where Amazon wanted their own infrastructure to be sold as a service to other organization because it learned a lot of things from establishing its own huge e-commerce platform, and it wanted to monetize that experience and skill. So it started the AWS in 2006. From there, you can see the diagram or the journey starting 2003 to 2028, 2018. Every year it has added some new service. Now it has more than 200 services. Today, Amazon holds 33% of market share. It is a market leader in terms of cloud computing. There will be more and more companies willing to transition to cloud. So AWS professional will be always in demand. 60% of the cloud computing jobs require AWS skills. It may be AWS related or multi-cloud related jobs. The majority of requirements will be towards AWS. Hence, it is beneficial to learn AWS. Here we can see various path in terms of AWS certifications. AWS has beautifully categorized them in various levels as well as roles. There are 4 levels: foundation, associate, professional, and specialty in terms of complexity. Foundation is cloud practitioner. If you are a non-IT professional or you are a beginner in IT, this will be a good starting point. Next level is the associate level, where the important core services will be covered at broad level. So if you are looking at becoming a cloud engineer or junior solution architect, you can look at solution architect certification. Then there is a developer certification in case you are interested in software development roles, where you will be developing on top of cloud platform on AWS. If you are admin kind of person from operations, there is a SysOps administrator certification. There is a clear distinction in terms of role in these 3 certifications. Next level is professional, where you will be the experienced solution architect or a DevOps engineer. You can transition from associate to professional. Specialty is the highest level, where instead of focusing on broad services like associate and professional, you will focus on specific domains of AWS, such as networking, big data, and security. At high level, if we talk about AWS Solution Architect Associate, there will be core services covered such as compute, network, storage, databases, security, cost optimization, and focus on AWS well architected framework, which is based on AWS best practices. There will be 4 domains with weightage, what you can see on the slide. Designing secure architecture, which has highest 30% weightage. Designing resilient architectures with 26%. Designing high performing architectures with 24%. And designing cost optimized architectures with 20%. Now let us pick the popular compute service, which is Elastic Compute Cloud, or EC2 in short. Now, if you have to do any activity, you obviously need some computing power. It can be processor, memory, storage, operating system. So in short, collectively, we call this computing service. So EC2 is a popular and one of the first services what Amazon launched, and it is very mature service. It offers you a virtual machine in Amazon cloud. As per official definition, Amazon EC2 is a web service. Why web service? Because you can access it through a browser. It is a web-based service. It provides resizable compute capacity. So it is very elastic in nature. If you want higher capacity, you can always scale your size. You can have horizontal and vertical scaling. If you want to reduce it, you don't have much load, you can scale it down. It is designed to make web scale computing easier for developers. So primary user of this service is a developer. If they use this service, they can focus on their own software development activity rather than managing the infrastructure. So this managing infrastructure is taken care by Amazon as a service provider. Here we have a table which compares compute cost if you run some compute service on premise versus on AWS EC2. There are various categories of cost. You can see administration, environment, network storage, and server. For each category, you can see comparison of cost. So typical total cost, if you run compute on premise, comes around 99.4 USD, 1000 USD. The same thing if you run on AWS, it is much lower, that is 23,000 USD. So you can see the difference. You can save a lot of cost. And if you note the environment category, here the AWS EC2 cost is 0. The reason for that is this will be managed by AWS. You don't require any capital or upfront investment in your infrastructure. Now AWS EC2 provides you a lot of permutation combinations or a lot of type of instances. Instance is nothing but a server, one instance equal to one server. So you can see first column in this table, which is the family. So there are F, I, G. These are all families and for different purposes. Second column, you can see the specialty. For example, if you say G3, G is the family, 3 is the generation, and it is meant for graphic intensive workloads. Second column, you can see use cases. So if you want to run video encoding or 3D application streaming, you can use G3 type of EC2 instances. Likewise, you can see wide variety of use cases. You can see SAP HANA, you can see memory intensive use cases, web servers, big data, data warehouse. So you name it, you have all the use cases which are relevant for the enterprises in today's market. Now, in general, when you provision a compute or a server, what you need? Bare minimum. So you need a processor, you need memory, storage, network, operating system. You need some configuration parameters. It can be name of the server to differentiate it from other servers, IP address so that it can run on network and connect to other devices, the credential, which means the username, password, using which the user will be able to access the server and work on it. So we will see how this minimum configuration parameters we can do on EC2. So the first important thing is Amazon machine image. This will have the operating system related parameters. It is kind of a template which you will reuse it every time you want to provision some specific OS. Let's say you want to provision Windows 2016 server. There can be a AMI, and from that AMI you can provision n number of servers. It can be 1, 2, 10, 100, any number. But the same AMI can be reusable. Second important thing is security groups. This is kind of an internal virtual firewall. It is a stateful firewall from EC2. It provides your EC2 instance a security in terms of incoming and outgoing traffic, securing your ports, and it allows the traffic from specific source and destination. Third very foundation block is the network, which is virtual private cloud. This is kind of a network boundary which is given to you. Within this network boundary, you can provision n number of EC2 instance. Next category is subnet, which is sub network. So within VPC, you can create subnetworks. It can be private subnet, public subnet. If it is a public subnet, you can connect it to internet. If it is private, it will be isolated network for security purpose. Then we have a feature called tag. So you can give a naming convention to your EC2 that helps you in terms of auditing and budgeting as well. So you can, from the tag, you will be able to consolidate the instances for a specific department, specific user. Last thing is the key pair. This will be required as a credential to securely connect to your EC2 instance. Now let us switch to the demo part. So I have logged into the Amazon Management Console. This is a graphical user interface where you can access any web service or any service from Amazon. So if we just have a quick look, it has around 200 services available to you to consume across various categories like compute, containers, storage. So let us go into EC2. We will be provisioning a virtual server based on Linux. Currently, we see a good dashboard where we can see how many resources we have provisioned. I'll be proceeding with launching an instance. I will click on launch instance. You see variety of option here, what we understood from previous slide. So as per that slide, the first option comes as the AMI. And you already see some quick start AMIs, the popular ones like Linux, Mac OS, Ubuntu, Windows. You can browse more. There are around thousands of AMIs available that can be Amazon provided. You can have your own custom AMI as well. And AWS has a marketplace where a lot of third-party companies also provide their own AMIs. We'll choose here Linux 2 AMI, and this is a free tier eligible AMI. Then we will choose instance type. The type includes the CPU, memory, and storage configuration. The various types will have different configuration. We will be choosing T3 micro. So it is a T type of instance with third generation and type is micro. So this will have 2V CPU, 1 gig RAM, and you can see other parameters here. You can also see the cost per hour. So you will be charged per hour. You will not be paying any advanced cost to use this. So that is the important benefit of EC2. Key pair is used to connect to your instance. For demonstration, we will not use it. Then comes the network portion. We will be selecting a VPC which is pre-created for this lab, and it has a network of 10.0.20/24. This is the CIDR. It has a unique ID, what you see here. Then we'll select the security group, or we'll create a new one with this name. The security group, you can configure rules for inbound, outbound, various type of ports, source and destination. For demo purpose, I will be not using any rule. The default storage here will be 8 GB of GP2 type of instance. This is a block storage device called on a service called Elastic Block Storage or EBS. It will be based on SSD type of hard disk. There are a lot of advanced options AWS offers, like joining a specific domain if it's a Windows server, You can have some identity access management, role-based access control, some kind of protection against shutdown behavior or termination behavior, so on and so forth. For now, we will not choose any advanced details, and we'll be provisioning one instance. You can review the selected options here. We'll go ahead and launch it. We were able to provision the instance, as you see, in very short time, almost 1 minute I can say. Now you imagine if you have to do the same thing in your traditional on-premise kind of environment, you will have to contact the IT team or admin team. They will be providing you the servers. They may take few hours, and if they don't have enough capacity, they will have to purchase it, which may take few weeks. But if you come to AWS, you just need an account, which takes few minutes. It is similar to registering an email user ID. Once you have that with a credit card, all the services what you have inside AWS are ready to consume. It has fast time to value for the market. Now, once your instance is provisioned, you can see the configuration parameters. So here it has assigned a unique ID to this instance so that you can refer to it. It has this public IP so that it can be accessible from internet outside world. It has a private IP address, IPv4 IP address. Whatever we configured like T3 micro, the CPU, RAM, etc. are as per assigned to this instance. You can also have a basic monitoring enabled where you can see various kind of KPIs or metrics. There is a default service called Cloud Watch, which will help you to give this kind of monitoring data for your instance. You can further tighten your security in this security tab. So you can define more rules which are required absolutely. You can add more networks, more storage, and define your tags.